Hey guys, it's Miko from ML Sound Lab and this is ML Drums Dwell. Okay, so I'm super excited to finally talk about ML Drums Dwell, which is based on DW drums and Zildjian custom cymbals. If you are completely new to ML drums, please check the link below as we will be jumping directly into sound samples now. Okay, and this is what ML Drums Dwell actually looks like. You're actually seeing most of what's included, apart from the golden snare, which we'll get to a little bit later on. And then obviously we have a second hi-hat version. We had a newer one and an older one. They sounded so different that we decided to sample both of them. Now obviously all drum manufacturers have their own systems for making the perfect sounding drums. With DW they pay close attention to wood timbers, and what I feel is that they have the richest sounding toms and shells in the industry, with them being as full range as possible. So you do have a very musical low end, but not boomy. So the low end is very focused in more of a lower mid area rather than super sub low. And you have a very pristine and clear attack on these toms. Now, as always, these toms have been tuned to perfection by our very good buddy Janne, who does most of the sampling here. So these toms sound like pianos, like you can play music with them. So I prepared a piece of music by just using these toms to demonstrate how musical they actually sound. Just have a listen to this. So yes, all 5 toms sound amazing and are pitched so that they sound very good together, almost like piano notes, as I said before. Now, on top of that, you have the kick that belongs to this kit, and you have 5 different variations with different microphones, and some of the microphones have EQ settings and stuff like that. So you can explore and find out what kind of kick you really like and start tweaking from there with the mixer page. Now ML Drums Dwell comes with 2 different snare options, which are both amazing. They both come with 5 different tuning options, so we tried out different tunings for these snares, and you have 5 for each to try out with. So let's start with the golden one. I have a drum groove prepared here, which is also actually demonstrating the ride and all its articulations. So you have a crash ride, bell, regular ride, if that's even the word. But I will be demonstrating the snare with this groove now. So once again, kind of proving the point why you actually do need different tunings sampled separately. The drum itself starts to sound quite different when you change the pitch of the snare, whereas quite many drum samplers actually have a digital pitch shifter for changing the pitch of the snare, which doesn't really sound very realistic if you ask me. Now for the other snare, it's the maple one, a Craviotto, that essentially belonged to this kit. So this is what it sounds like. So for the first time ever, I feel like I even prefer the sound of these wooden snares as opposed to regularly. I usually really like the metal snares, like good old brass snares, those really do the thing for me. But with DW, I feel like the maple one here actually sounds amazing. And what's really cool about the golden one is, if you are a drum geek, drum nerd, like we all actually are, it has the edge rim to it. So what it actually is kind of a hybrid of full-on golden, or it's brass likely, snare, which actually weighs a lot, but it also has wood in it. So it's kind of a hybrid between one of those cannons of snares, but it still has some wood toning character in there. So that's a very unique kind of a snare, and I think it really does exactly what it should. So it sounds like a heavy cannon of a snare, but at the same time it still has the wooden character in there. Let's just pick like a medium pitch for this one, and let's have a listen to what it actually sounds like. So yes, I feel like the impact is so big that it could be like a metal snare, even like a chanty kind of a full-on punch snare, whereas I feel like the ghost notes still sound very natural and smooth and easy, which many times is not the case when you have a huge cannon of a snare. Okay, and next in the kits we have an ultra hammered A custom China, and true geeks of Vemo drums actually already know that, hey, we already have that China. It's not the same exact China, we did have it in Emel Drums Grids, and what's cool right now is that you can actually place two of these, one on the right side and one on the left side. So, and they don't sound the same. So just have a listen to this drum groove with this new China. And obviously the reason why we have it there twice is because it's probably the best China in the world. Now, Emel Drums Duel actually comes with two different hi-hats, but it's the same hi-hat. One is the new version, one is the old version. We felt like the new version kind of was washier sounding, while the older one was tighter. So we felt like we couldn't choose, so we actually have both of them in here. So this is the new hi-hat. Old. So as you can hear, they sound quite different, even though they are the same hi-hat. They're not the same hi-hat. This older one sounds a lot more trebly and dry to me, while the new one is washier and more full range. Depending on what kind of a song I'm actually going for, I will probably choose another one out of these. The older one probably suits something like funk music better, while if I want to use like a full-on hi-hat, like in a modern metal sense, I will likely use the newer one. Okay, let's go through all the other cymbals that are included with this drum groove. This is the first crash. Okay, so that was a 16-inch A custom, 18-inch A custom, and a 20-inch A custom. So we actually have probably one of the smallest crashes that we've had in Emel drums now in this expansion pack. And on top of all this, we have the spicy little A custom 10-inch splash. And obviously the magic with ML drums is that once you have multiple expansion packs, you can start mix and matching all different expansion packs and create your own drum kit. You don't have to be stuck with just one expansion pack at the time. Even now we could actually blend the free snare in here if you wanted to, and explore different kinds of snares with these shells and different kinds of cymbals, and mix and match and come up with your perfect dream drum kit. I kind of always wanted to defeat the problem of having electric drums essentially, or drum samplers where everyone uses the same sounds. With ML drums, I think we have successfully aimed and succeeded in giving people something that they can customize and make their own, and not have the same exact drum sound that everyone else is using, but just find and explore your own sound. Okay, and as always, once you get ML Drums 12, you actually have multiple presets in here. So the default preset sounds like this. Then you have kind of a new metal, kind of a preset. And then you have a couple of options that are completely dry, not really using any of the mixer page, kind of to give you a good starting point to where to start if you want to do all of that yourself. So you have some really good mix ready presets to start out with, not too many to get you confused, just enough for you to essentially get something that works for you. On the mixer page, as always, you can mix the entire kit separately. The room tracks and overhead tracks, they sound extremely authentic. If I just have these two on, it's probably gonna be most of your drum sound if you really think about it. So this is just the overheads and just the room tracks, not using any of the closed microphones. So this is just the kit with room mics. And you do have some super high quality processing power inside this mixer page. You essentially have an SSL style EQ, you have bleed controls, you have a compressor that is very 1176 like, you have a saturation knob that is very analog sounding, with adding essentially mostly just odd harmonics to make your drum sound beefier. That's the magic behind ML Drums. As always, go check out all the different expansion packs. This is, once again, us trying to do even better every single time with every single release. As you've probably heard, these drums sound amazing. Go check them out and go check out ML Drums. Maybe you'll find something else that you like even more than this. Okay, see you on the next one. I've been Mikko from ML Sound Lab, and subscribe and see you on the next one. Bye bye.